4, 3, 2, 1.
On the edge of the box is Madden. Madden trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, it's there! Oh my word! What a goal from Paddy Madden! The Irishman strikes again! And is that the goal that's going to send Stockport County back into the Football League?
All I'm saying is, in my day, goalkeepers didn't need to wear a base layer because they had moustaches to keep them warm. So, different game's gone, mate. Game's gone. Hello and welcome to another packed episode of Don't Believe the Hype, the weekly podcast that takes a chronological deep dive into a song by the band of a generation, Arctic Monkeys. So, I just assumed we'd have so little to talk about that we'd just use the time to knock out an episode of my other niche podcast. No? Fine. Yes, this is, of course, the Scarf Bagara War. The show that discussed back-to-back defeats at the hands of Oxford City and Gainsborough Trinity. So you can bet your life we'll be delighted to talk about back-to-back goalless draws in the Football League with Doncaster and Gillingham. Will we not? Yes,
we will.
Thanks.
Yes,
we will. That was the people of Stockport shouting out the bedroom windows as we were watching. Then I could hear that. That was great. That sounded sincere, didn't it? At the start. Yes, we're with you for the next hour, talking all things county, and let's face it, given the week's events, probably some things that aren't. What more could you possibly want, apart from maybe some crosses from the byline, perhaps? Joining me, Nick Lee, is a man who was once asked, aren't you the guy from the County Podcast? Tune into last week's show for more on that. Yes, it's the guy from the County Podcast. It's Russ Johnson. Hello, Russ.
Hello, you all right?
Yeah, not bad. How are you? How is it being the guy from the County Podcast?
Yeah, well, you are as well, aren't you? I mean...
Yeah, you get it a lot more than me, though.
Oh, I like your cup.
Well, them, aren't they? Yeah. There's actually something in it as well. It's not like...
No, it's not a prop.
It's not like it's just like, Like when you see Ricky Gervais do his stand-up and he pretends to drink from a can. It's like, you're not drinking from that can. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Despite the two games that we're going to talk about, yeah, I'm good. I'm good inside. I'm good in myself. I'm good inside myself.
Not good in yourself. What are you, a contortionist?
No, but that's what people say, don't they? Oh, he's all right, but are you all right in yourself? Yeah, I'm all right in myself.
Yeah.
That's what people say, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do, unfortunately. Just another one of the list of boring things that people say when they have nothing interesting to say, innit?
Yeah.
Really. But when they're trying to make it seem like they care.
Yeah. Shall I tell everybody? Because I don't know I don't know when your intros stop and when I should begin these days. It's stuff like all morphs into one, isn't it?
It's when I bring you in, mate.
Oh, go on then.
When I bring you in, it's your time to shine. I brought you in.
Right, okay.
The guy from the County Podcast. It's your time to shine.
Okay.
Shine bright like a diamond, Russell.
I will do, yeah.
And I'll get the admin ready.
Yeah, you get the admin ready. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Doncaster draw on Saturday, the Gillingham draw last night. We're going to look ahead to Colchester, which probably could be a draw, let's face it, on Saturday. Just let that sink in for a second. And yeah, we're just going to talk about that. We're going to get our guest out very soon. I will introduce him in a second. But before we do that, can I just say hello and welcome to everybody who's joined us live. All the usual faces, including Claire Jeffs, who's remembered to tune in. Thank you very much for remembering, Claire.
She doesn't just watch it when her mates are on it. So,
well, yeah.
Hardcore now.
Yeah. So all the usual are here. Jamie, Matt, Ian, Phil, Gazendo, I was going to say Gazendo, Waggy, John. Cheers for watching. And just to say as well, a tiny bit of admin. We have been told this week that there was issues with Patreon and patrons not being able to get the early access podcasts through Acast. That is actually how it should be, apparently. I've spoken to them today. So you've got to do that through your membership icon on your app, and then you can do it on whatever podcast player you prefer, but not Spotify. Patreon does not integrate with Spotify.
Spotify have their own subscription thing, as I'm finding out, to my cost on my other podcast. And you know what? We've had to set up the Spotify subscription, but all the episodes that you put on for subscribers, it lists them all, even though they're unavailable. So all my OCD is flaring up. because there's just random episodes like dotted in there. I'm thinking of just packing it in now, to be honest. That's,
Yeah, no, but that'll show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that'll show people who are not subscribed that there's content there that they can't. They couldn't have accessed at a certain point.
There's an
Yeah.
extra 2 hours of content a week, Russell. And you can't say
There
fairer
is.
than that for between £3 and £5 English pounds
No, you cannot.
a month. But people are probably wondering what we're on about with Patreon. So should we play the trailer for him?
Yeah, play the trailer.
With them two velvet voiced handsome sods. Oh, it's good, isn't it? No, I can't.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Sounds like you just have, mate. But you crack on.
How do you like your content?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Personally, Russ, I like mine hot and fresh out the kitchen.
We've discussed this.
What?
We had that meeting about you referencing R. Kelly and we agreed it was too problematic. You wouldn't do it anymore.
Sorry, mate. It's just the best combination of words to describe just one of the many benefits that members of the Scarf Bagara War fan club get for the very reasonable price of just £3 English a month.
And not only that, there are discounts on merchandise, exclusive access to live events, bonus episodes and all sorts of fun to make it worth your while.
You see, they get the weekly audio podcast immediately after broadcast, 36 hours before everybody else.
So hit the link in the description and join now for just £3 a month and help support the only podcast for county fans by county fans.
All that, plus exclusive early announcements and anything else we can think of. That was alright, wasn't it?
It was. I'm just not sure about the R. Kelly thing.
You'll never be sure about the R. Kelly thing, will you, Russ? This has been very slick. Just anything to avoid talking about the actual football.
This is it. This is why we've done it. This is why we've done it.
For your tea.
Yeah. Shall we do some admin before we? Our guest is sat backstage patiently waiting. Shall we do some admin first, and then we'll get Jordan out because he don't want to sit through the admin, does he?
I don't. So
no, go on. Well, you've got the admin, Nick. That's your cue.
I've got the admin. I've got the admin. Yes, regular readers of the show will have seen that we did a little bonus episode on Monday night where we had a very special announcement from the co-op and Paul Sharrock's, who's one half of the husband and wife team behind Stockport Gin. They've launched a second and final batch of the very popular Bagara gin, which is going to support the Danny Bagara statue appeal. So get that. When I'm done talking, I'll pop the link in the comments and then I'll put it in the episode description after. So people couldn't think of a word then. My brain's I've been so ill this week, my brain just turned to mush. It's horrible. So yes, you can go on the Stockport Gin website to order one, or you can call in to their shop. But also, I can't speak for the co-op, but they've literally asked me to, so I can speak for the co-op. I do want to thank supporters who've ordered the gin, and also those who've donated to the Danny statue Just Giving page. Again, the link will be in the comments. And also a massive thanks to Help the Hatters, whose support has been invaluable, and Penno Draws as well for donating his time and expertise to do the label on said bottle. So I'll stick them links in there. And also on the admin, Geordie Hatter is back dominating the online airwaves this Saturday with his fantastic away day show. It's a new phrase, yeah. And he's copyrighted the County Nation phrase, so I'm having online airwaves. Not as good, to be honest with you. Not as good, but like everything I do, it's just not as good as what other people do. But I'm a trier.
So self-deprecating.
That's what I've got on my Bumble profile, anyway.
Is that all the admin? Oh, there's a bike ride from Hartlepool to Stockport. Yep. Yes. Who's doing the bike ride, Nick?
It's Damon Carroll. I've nearly choked on my coffee out of this mug. Then it's a good mug, that very very good. If I'm going to choke on anything, I want it to be something out of this mug. Available soon. It is Damon Carroll, Simon Dawson, and Andy Birchenough for doing it. I believe they're the three. So they're going. I'm assuming they're not riding to Hartlepool and back. I'm assuming they'll be getting a lift up to Hartlepool and then riding in time for our final game of the season when the statue will be unveiled. And for more on that, tune into the episode I did on Monday, where we also chatted to the sculptor, Hannah Stewart.
Yes. We'll talk about that bike ride with our guest because he lives around that way. So we'll talk more about that with him. I'm quite interested to know, are they going to get, like, I don't know, are they going to get a backie off the team bus, the Hartlepool team bus? It's interesting why they
yeah.
chose to do that way. I'm just really interested in that. Not that our guests will know, but we can have a chat about it.
Well, it'd be awkward if they did like Edgeley Park to Hartlepool, and then.
Well, yeah, I know.
game.
Obviously, yeah, obviously.
Come on, you know Bike Ride Russ. This is your arena.
I know. It's my arena. Yeah, yeah. They are doing it over 2 days, though, 133 miles, and I think that's a bit lightweighty. But then that's just me. And anyway,
Let's see your charity Bike Ride Russ.
Yes. Well, I'm doing it for charity now, so I will do that at some point. I'll mention that at some point. Right? Should we get our guest out? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So our guest, I asked our guest to answer the 3 questions that every guest is going to get before they come on to the county podcast, just for intro purposes, nothing else. So first match that our guest went to, his first match was the 2-0 win against Crewe on Boxing Day 2022. His best goal.
Fresh meat. He's new.
Fresh meat. You won't say that to his face when you tell him tell you what he does. You won't say that to his face.
I know what he does. I know what he does. But I'm hoping in the time it takes him to get to me, I can like hide. I'm good at hide and seek. So it'll be all right.
He doesn't know what his best goals were because they weren't very spectacular in that. So we'll just go for the first one, Paddy Madden, when Rydell got to the byline. I think we'll go with that one. Best moment, promotion to League 2. So yeah, I mean that stands to reason. And we're going to say he's a pro boxer, but he's from Stockport and he's now a county fan. So let's introduce Jordan.
Hello, thank you for having me on, lads. Cheers.
All right, mate. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, and by the way, I'm homeless, Nick. By the way, I'm homeless.
Just like me. Just like me. Yeah. I look fearsome, and I look like I'd be a terrifying fighter, but in reality, I'm just a sack of shit, aren't I, Russ?
Boxing's just a job for me, so don't worry about that.
Do you ever go around saying I'm a lover, not a fighter, and then think, shit, shouldn't be saying that?
No, actually, no, I've never said that. I've never said that at all. No, I'm just quite reserved. I guess most fighters are.
Good.
Okay, so obviously you're here for the duration. What we'll do is we'll talk about Crewe, but we can talk about Crewe later.
Yeah, let's talk about Crewe. Let's talk about the Crewe game.
let's talk about anything but Doncaster, anything but Gillingham. We're going to cover those really, really quickly because there's not really much to talk about. Then we'll come to you, Jordan. We'll talk about you. We'll talk about your boxing career, where you're at the moment, how you got into county, and why.
Yeah.
There's quite a good story there, I think, that you told us just off air, which is quite nice about said family members. So if we start with the Doncaster match. Now, I mean, I went to the match, Nick. I'm pretty sure did you go or were you working? I mean,
I watched.
You watched. Jordan, yeah. Were you unlucky enough to see any of that match?
I didn't watch it, but they lost me money. I'll tell you that. I'm betting on them, so I wasn't.
They lost us all money this week.
I was getting the notifications in on Sky Bet, and I was like, "Come on, man! Half time. Where's these goals coming at?" You know. But, yeah.
What did you have us? Did you have us on both teams to score?
Nah, I just did them to win. I did the last one because the 5-game win streak, and I thought, you know what, man, like the team that just played weren't that good. Like they're quite low in the league, so I thought, you know what, it's at home. They'll probably score a few past them, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were all thinking, mate. Honestly, 5 on the spin. As Claire Jeff says, never bet on your own team, or the early kickoff. That's always a.
Or the early kickoff. But you should keep going with that rule. Like, don't bet on teams that have let you down. So by the end, I've got no one to bet on.
I might not bet on the county again. A few of my mates in Ireland. I've got a few mates over in Ireland. I grew up there actually as a kid, and I keep telling them over there to put bets on for Stockport all the time, and like every time they do it, they lose, and I feel so bad each time.
I like it. Yeah. So just very quickly then, just touching on sort of you are, if I've got this right, you are from Stockport. You've lived in Sligo for a bit, or Sligo Island? Yeah.
So I'm from Manchester. Obviously, you can tell by my accent. I moved over to Ireland when I was around 8, and I moved back to Manchester, Stockport when I was around 17. So that's why I never lost my Mancunian accent. So yeah, I don't know if you want to call me partly Irish. My mates in Ireland just about class me as an Irishman. But obviously, I like Paddy Madden, obviously, because he's from Ireland. So yeah. So I don't know what you want to call that, Irish or not, but I've lived there for
whatever you want us to call you, we'll call you.
I'm English. It's whatever country I'm in. They call me stuff. I'm in Ireland. They call me British anyway. When I'm over here, some people call me Irish. It depends.
Fair dues. Well, we've had some good Irish players, haven't we, at County in the past? Peter. I always like Peter Thompson. Didn't really get. He had a good crack at the whip, didn't he? But I just think it was a bit disappointing in the end. But I was so really pleased when he signed for us.
That went well for you, didn't it, Ross?
What?
That went well for you, didn't it?
Well, no, it didn't in the end, did it? Yeah. And Griffin as well, he was good, but then he was in a poor team. Anyway, let's move on.
As if it wasn't depressing enough.
I know, yeah.
Nil draws. We had to go through the banter years.
I know. My apologies. Right, Doncaster on Saturday. So I was there. I don't really. I mean, you watched it, Nick. What did you make of it? Start with you.
Well, what we'll do, we'll talk Doncaster, and then we'll have a short 5-minute break, and I'll clip that up, and we'll just play that bit again for last night's game.
Yeah,
it's just some. It seems it's been a recurring problem all season. Like when teams have come up and played for a draw, we've not been able to find a way, and we don't seem capable of mixing it up in order to try and find a way through. We're just resorting to crosses from very, very deep.
Yeah.
Constantly, which a back seven was always going to gobble up, no trouble. It's just you could see the way it was playing out, like, and when the second half comes around, you think, well, and then 5-10 minutes in, you just think, yeah, it's not happening. It's not our day. I'll go and do some pottering. Just one of them. I don't know. It's just there's nothing to be. And contrary to what some people say on Twitter, no one's been calling for Dave Chellam to be sacked, despite the fact that people. Don't get me started, Russ. I'm getting annoyed already. I'm not even lost the game. I'm getting annoyed. Yeah, it's just. I mean, things are still good. Like, we're still well in touch. Like, results have semi gone our way in that time. So I mean, I've said it for ages, but with the playoffs at least. The sooner we get up and running again, the more chance there is of getting top 3. It's not like it's drastic like last season, is it? Where it's like we need to get out and on league.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm much more relaxed. Even with, I mean, it's 2-0. It's not like we've been panned 7-0, is it? That kind of thing. It's completely different to that. What worried me slightly on Saturday was we came. This didn't worry me, but what happened after we came out of the blocks first 10. 15 maybe.
Really went for it.
Absolutely went for it. You score one of those, and okay, we didn't score it. Blah blah blah. Get all that out of the way. We didn't score it, but if we'd have scored, the floodgates open. Same with last night as well. Get that early goal. They rode the luck a bit. The ref absolutely killed it after 20 minutes for both teams. Even their fans stopped chanting and stopped being a bit raucous because it was the ref had just killed the game. I'm getting annoyed with these refs. And yeah, we just didn't seem to be able to break them down. A fair play to Doncaster and Gillingham, actually, because they've come for a draw. They've played 5 at the back, and then others come and play at the back with them, when they're out of possession, when we're on the front foot. And it's just, you can't go round them, you can't go through them, you can't go over them because they're sitting so deep. It reminded me of Dover. When Dover put up a really good fight, but except
very Dover, yeah.
Yeah, but the gap between us and Dover at the time was too much that we ended up breaking through. I think we only won 1-0 anyway, didn't we? At home. Whereas the gap in this division, it's not as big as that, clearly. So if a team comes and tries to play for a draw like that, then you've got to be Leyton Orient standards to get through it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I mean, fair play to both teams. They set out to do a job, and they did that job. Did it very well. It's not like we were having clear-cut chances, and the keeper was bailing them out or anything. It was just high, hopeful balls high hopeful balls to Tanto Olofe, which really annoyed me.
Yeah.
Really, really wound me up to the point I was like working myself into a frenzy there. Get your mind out the gutter. And it just really, it was just kept persisting with it. It was quite clear it wasn't, whether it's a matter of when you're in a, I mean, I'm calling it a rut.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, I was just about to then, but I was thinking, well, is it a rut really? But when you are in a rut, like on the pitch, when you're in a bit of a funk, as I imagine the Americans would say, Russell, maybe you don't have that confidence to try something a bit braver.
Yeah.
I think maybe there's an element of that. I don't know.
Jordan, what would you call it? A team's just won 5 on the bounce and then they draw 2. Well, they lose 1, sorry, away, don't score, and then draw 2 at home without scoring.
Well, to be fair, I think Stockport's on a great run, especially just after being promoted. So I think they've got a couple of new players as well. So I think they're doing quite well for a team. So I don't see any issue with that. I think the issue would be as if they're conceding goals. So I think the next few performances, I think drawing 2, I don't think that's an issue. But I think if they constantly are drawing and then start losing, I think that would be, a big issue compared to big win streak, draw, big win streak. Like you see all the top teams anyway, like the Premier League teams, they can't keep winning all the time. You see it all, you can't. So you're going to dip in form eventually for a club either way. So I think they'll start doing well now near the end of the season. The pressure will start, bringing the best out in players. It usually does, doesn't it?
Madden coming back now as well after a bit of time out. He's a bit rusty in his like cameos last couple of games, but he's getting up to. There was a missed kick last night, wasn't there, where you think if he's there's a bit of a scramble. I think from one of our awful free kicks.
Was that in the air? Was that in the area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of them, but it does seem. In fact, County 1883 in the comments has pointed it out. So we struggled towards the end of last season. It seemed teams had figured out how to play against our system. Do we think it's the same this season? Teams have figured us out. I think there's an element of that. I think at this level, your analysis team, your scouting team is a lot more comprehensive than what you've got in non-league, and they can look at the patterns of play. They'll have all the data and everything, and they'll see how we play and how to nullify it. And they've done a job on us. Fair play to them both. I just would have liked to have seen us mix it up a bit more. I was very surprised I mean, it doesn't matter which game we talk about.
No, let's just talk about both. Yeah, go for it.
Rydell, I was very surprised at Rydell getting taken off at half time last night because the only times where we did look like creating something, it was through him down that left hand side. They'd obviously marked out Noyle as a danger man because he couldn't. He had no chance to do anything, particularly last night. Well, and Doncaster as well. So it all went through Rydell last night. That first half, the only times we looked like scoring was when he was getting in behind. Some nice interplay with Sarcevic, who it's good to have back as well.
Yeah. No, can't disagree with any of that. It's really difficult to pick out elements where it's not already been said. Really, that I think everyone agrees. Matt Bryan's put here, it's a blip. You see, I wouldn't say. I'd go with Jordan. Actually, I know you didn't say it wasn't a blip, but you sort of alluded to, well, it's not an issue. If we were losing, like defensively, we didn't look in trouble at all for the two night.
I know teams have got to go past the halfway line.
Yeah. So, I mean, and they did, didn't they? But it wasn't all played for 90 minutes inside someone their half, was it?
No, not quite.
So defensively, we look really good. It's just, like you say, mixing it up. You can't. We clearly couldn't go round them, and we'll talk about Gillingham because it's fresher in my mind. But we couldn't go round them. We couldn't go through them because they just closed all the doors. We tried to go over them, playing those high balls into Tanto, like you said. What else is there?
Well, I mean, look at the options we've got, both in the side on the bench. You'd think there'd be enough there to mix it up, but we just didn't manage to do it. We had the chance for Stretton last night. Was more of a half chance. He forced a very good save out the keeper. And then there was a chance on Saturday as well where the keeper made a very good save from
Rydell.
Header. I can't remember.
Yeah, Rydell. Yeah.
And
he got up quite high actually for that. Rydal. But we can't play the music.
No. Creativity being stifled, just like Gillingham and Doncaster did to us.
To us, yeah. I think what the really good teams do, and maybe we'll see it as we go up the leagues, is they'll draw the Gillinghams and Doncasters out by maybe playing a bit deeper. So there is space behind. That's probably why a lot of teams like City do it a lot, don't they? They play out from the keeper to try and draw the opposition out, and Edison can ping one long that goes over, that kind of thing. But obviously we're League Two, so we need to just temper ourselves slightly.
Do you want a couple of stats, courtesy of a friend of the show, Ben Walker?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 games without a goal is our worst run since August and September 2021, when we also didn't score for 3 games. The last time we went 4 without a goal was February 21, and our worst ever run without a goal. Let's have a little quiz, Russ. How many do you reckon is our worst ever run without a goal?
You see, I think I know the answer because I saw the tweet.
Did you? Oh, fuck you then. It's like 7 games. End of the first season of Conference North versus Solihull, Worcester, Hensford, Ferriby, Brackley, Alty, and Colwyn Bay. Which, in terms of like how far we've come in that time, that's a nice little check there, isn't there? Yeah, could be worse. Well, I also have another stat courtesy of Ben Walker, but if you're going to be like that, mate, I don't think I'll. Did you read the other one? Did you read his other one?
No, I don't think I did.
Just the one victory this season when Croasdale hasn't started. That was Wimbledon at home. Played every game last season, and then the last time before that we won a game without him in the 11 was Barnet away on the gym in December 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, that's I see. I like those odd stats like that where you're not quite sure what to make of it.
Yeah, because it's going to sound really stupid. It sounds stupid in my head, and it's going to sound even more stupid coming out of my mouth. But I know. But you can't keep Croasdale in just because of that. I mean, it's a good fact, but you can't keep him in just because of that. He's going to be tired. He's going to be out of form.
Davenport's been decent. He's not done an awful lot wrong.
Yeah,
I felt more comfortable with him on a yellow. He was on a yellow quite early on Saturday, and I felt more comfortable with him on a yellow than I did with Croasdale the other week when he got subbed at half time.
Yeah. Jonathan Baker and Sydney Exile I seem to have in their own conversation that includes my name, and I'm trying to work out what it is. Something about Goldilocks and a bear hunt, but I can't fathom it. Don't know what they're talking about.
It's nice to have Geordie Hatter joining us.
Yeah, it is.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah. Nigel pointing out the obvious there. If we'd have taken our chances against Doncaster and Gillingham, we would be talking differently now. Yes, we would.
If my nana had wheels, she'd be a bike. But she doesn't. No. Well, she's dead. So.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, mate.
Well, I didn't do
it. I did that too. Feel bad now after you saying that joke beforehand.
It's not a new development. She's been dead for a while. Fine.
Right, I think are we just about done with the football? Will we talk to our guest?
I don't think we had any. Is
there anything else about the football? It's been a bit turgid, hasn't it? I don't.
Yeah. Do you want me to hit you with an emergency question, Russ?
Yeah, go on then. Jordan,
what's the most medium football ground you've been to? So
medium.
So not the best, not the worst. What's the one slap bang in the middle?
Oh, probably.
What's the one ground you went to where you thought, yeah?
Oh, Rochdale, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, do you reckon? Yeah. That's
mine would be Sunderland. Well. Mine would be Sunderland's ground.
That's a decent
it's a slide. Okay, is that it?
Wow.
Well, when you've been to the football hotbed that is Edgeley Park, then not everything pales in comparison to Edgeley Park, doesn't it?
Another one for me was Bournemouth away. It's probably because of the result as well. Even though we stayed up, it was 0-0. Remember, McElroy was the manager. But I just got there, Dean Court. It's like, oh right, yeah.
When I see it on Match of the Day, it really fills me with rage for no particular reason.
I think my lad's always disappointed at grounds that he goes to. Do you know what I mean? He started in National League North, and he sort of knows that they get bigger, but he goes to like, I don't know, Rochdale or whatever, or Doncaster. He's just like, oh, is that it?
I'll have to get promoted then, aren't we?
I know.
And then he can go to Ipswich and be like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday away.
Hey, yeah. Oh, that'd be great, that, wouldn't it? Is there anything more about the football? Because I think this is probably going to be the shortest time we've ever spoken about the football on this podcast.
We've got Colchester Saturday, haven't we? We've got another team that's going to sit in for a draw.
Yeah.
Look forward to, isn't it?
We did say
I'm just not going to bet on this one.
Don't.
I'm out with that.
Yeah.
Not touching it. Not touching that.
So Colchester are 21st at the moment.
Yeah.
You can just see it, can't you? You can just see it.
Yeah. But what I might do, I might bet on a 0-0, and then we'll be short. There'll definitely be goals at least then.
Yeah, do that, Jordan. Bet 0-0. Bet no goals.
I do that and I'll lose.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. No, this time I'll just let this one ride. So.
Yes, Colchester. They're in 21st. Have a quick look at their form. Oh dear. So their home form, they've not won in the last 5 games. They've lost 2 and drawn 3. Away is better. They've won 3 and lost 2. But they're having a bit of a tough time of it. They've had a manager change, haven't they? Recently, I think.
Yeah, they've got their manager's gone to Wickham, hasn't he, to replace Ainsworth. Bloomfield was it? He was a Wickham legend, so he's gone there to replace Ainsworth.
Right, yeah.
Brought some other chump in.
Yes. Yeah. So
the very fact you've said they've not won in 5 home games, that's like Russ Johnson quotes that immediately precede disaster.
Yes.
Yeah, the duo win. The duo win sometime, aren't they?
Yeah,
I do realise that. Yeah.
No, we'll score on Saturday. Let's just start with learning to score again, and then we'll take it from there, please.
Yeah. Apologies. I'm just looking at the table, I'm trying to pull out for any type of factor or anything that we can pull out from it. But sorry, the 19th. I was looking at the goals table. The 19th on 35 from 35. They've got.
Matt Brady has kindly pointed out they've got Charlton's old manager, the fellow who was sacked by Charlton just before our replay with them.
Oh right.
He's at Colchester now. Yeah, that's the one. Maybe some chump. Maybe some chump who couldn't beat us earlier in the season.
Yeah, it's like a manager merry-go-round, isn't it? And Gazendo says any team playing for a draw at home and fighting for their lives deserves to go down. I kind of agree with that.
Yeah,
you should be going for it, shouldn't you?
And going down, is it? Rochdale looked pretty nailed on, I think, and then it's just one of the Crawley seems to be slipping again. They look in big trouble. Which I'm fine with that. I'm gonna plump for Hartlepool. Jordan's mates, and we'll get into that soon. But yeah, I think Rochdale. I said it on the EFL debate a couple of weeks ago. I think it's going to be Rochdale and Hartlepool that go down. Imagine that last game of the season.
I might turn up to a game then. I might turn up to a Hartlepool game coming up then to see them go down.
Yeah. Well, we could send them down on the last day. Imagine that last day going to the last day with both of us playing for something. After everyone with the transistor radios out.
Challoner sends them down.
Yeah. God. Oh, that'd be poetic, wouldn't it?
It would. Right, okay. Let me play a little transition and then we'll talk to Jordan about all things county and boxing. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like, share and subscribe. And for the audio podcast, please rate, review and recommend us on whatever podcast player you are listening to us on. Cheers, thank you. I'm really enjoying these little transitions that we've done. I like them.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, mate. I didn't watch that one because I was looking at my list of about 86 emergency questions that I've been writing over the past few weeks.
So you've been a proper pro, doing some sort of planning ahead of while the transition's on. I like that.
Yeah. I'm just basking in my own genius, really. some good questions in there, some hard hitting ones. Yeah, getting to the heart of the issues that matter to the county nation.
You can't nick that unless Unless Geordie Hatters give you permission to use it, you can't do that. We'll get copyrighted again.
Oh, not again. Oh, that advertising money.
Jordan, so tell us about you. Tell us from the start. Why do you support County? We ask this to everybody.
Okay, yeah. So I was obviously telling you before I got on, before it was on air. My stepdad is Rick. He's a hardcore County fan. He really is. I'm sure he's been to every home game of the season. He sits in the Tudor end, like I was telling you. So I go to university in the northeast. So when I'm back home, if there's a game on, I do go to the games with him and my stepbrother. And he always goes on to me, that he's friends with is it Neil Edwards?
Oh yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah. I think his daughter is friends with my stepsister, his daughter. So he knows him quite well. And I went to my first game on Boxing Day. Decided to go. He was dressed up as the Grinch, so if you saw the Grinch there, that was me next to him. And so I go to I tried to go to. I went to the FA Cup game a lot. Well, they got knocked out of, which I don't think it was quite a hostile atmosphere. I think that game, but I really enjoy going to the games. It's nice. The lower league teams, like Sunderland, I'm lower. There's a lot more passion, isn't there? So, like when I grew up in Ireland, our local club was Sligo Rovers. I don't know if any of you've heard of them, but you might have. And
we play football.
I used to follow them when they had the English players insurgencies in there. So when we had like Ian Barraclough managing Sligo at the time, he was quite a good manager. We got them to the Champions League qualifiers, etc. And like had a lot of English players that play in the Football League now. So I used to follow the Football League quite a lot when I was a kid over there because of the players getting brought over to England anyway. So the atmosphere is quite similar. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, good
I
stuff.
think a lot of people are kind of turning their backs on the top levels now and wanting that more authentic experience. It's great for. I think we've benefited most from that. If you look at clubs of similar size to us, I don't think they've really. I mean, obviously we've had success in the takeover and the development of the ground and everything. But yeah, it is good to see people kind of wanting that more.
Well, in the northeast, you see a lot of people turning their backs on Newcastle because like a lot of people are like jumping on the bandwagon now over there, and it really pisses me off because they're going on because they've got the hour of money. That's why they hate Manchester City up there, because when the City owners bought City, and they're just like saying, they're Newcastle fans, and they're not even from Newcastle. So like, yeah, like up there you get down, like you got Hartlepool not liking Stockport because of the manager switch. So
yeah, we know that they've been on our Twitter timeline all throughout that, weren't they?
It's better than having. I'd rather have them on our timeline than the Wrexham fans that we had last week. I mean, this is why I choose the clips that we post. Then unbeknownst to me, I see Russ has posted a clip from the show, and my mentions just went absolutely ballistic. And then we had like 12,000 views of a little.
I know,
clip.
But we just digress a second onto that. I chose it because it was funny, not because it was to do with Wrexham. It was just funny, and any Wrexham fan that watched that had to come across it first, had to click in and put the sound up to watch it and listen to what was being said, because there was nothing about Wrexham on the actual tweet, was there? So, and they call us obsessed, don't they?
Well, I think a lot of them were moaning, saying, well, what are you even talking about us for? It was Matt Bryan who pointed it out. He's like, you've got a documentary, you've got a worldwide documentary. Why is it an issue that people are talking about you? So we'll go all over Disney Plus and all over Fox and everything, but don't talk about it on Twitter, please, guys.
Yeah, weirdos. But it's similar to Hartlepool. Hartlepool were all over our timeline because obviously they don't like us. Because I think it just because of the manager switch, is it? I mean, they beat us in the playoffs, didn't they? Before that, with Challoner. We've had a few run-ins with them in the past before, haven't we? I think they were when we were top of League Two last time round. I think they were sort of there or thereabouts. I think,
yeah,
as well.
I just want to.
Well, when Stockport recently played Rochdale, it was a Hartlepool fan that told me to bet on Stockport because if Rochdale beat Hartlepool earlier in the season, they said Rochdale must be absolutely shit. They said because we're shocking, so bet on it. They said if we've beaten a team, bet on them to lose against Stockport because there's no chance to win. That's what I was told by a Hartlepool fan.
Yeah, logical. Gazendo says Anthony Elding played for Sligo Rovers.
Yes, yeah, top lad. I remember that years ago. Scouse lad, I think he was. I think Sligo's. I know it's not about Sligo, but Sligo's forwards at the time was you had Danny North from Grimsby, and then you had Odiambo from Leicester.
Oh yeah.
Kieran Jalali was from Leicester as well. Then you had the lad that plays for Preston now, Sean Maguire, on the left on the wing as well. He had some really good players at the time that were forward for Sligo. Well, Elding was a part of that 2012 Champions League team, if I'm correct. Yeah.
I didn't realise John Coleman used to manage Sligo as well, who's now Accrington manager.
Wow.
Yeah, Coley took over from Cooksey, Paul Cook, after Paul Cook left. John Coleman in 3 months took Sligo to the Europa League third round against. I was actually at the Europa League game. They played Rosenborg in the third round, and the one went 1-0 up, and they won the away game, but lost 3-1 at home. Yeah. Coleman and Cook. Paul Cook was the better manager, I think, out of the two. He did quite well. Yeah.
They also had Jimmy Mullen, who was Burnley manager.
Right.
I don't know him.
Steve Cottrell, Laurie Sanchez, Willie McStay back in 1992 ended up being Herman's assistant at County. The links are there.
I don't know anyone from that time. It's only from like 2000s onwards, man.
It'd be interesting to know if any other players played for both County and Sligo. That'd be pretty interesting. I'm sure we'll get through the comments. If you know anybody, start Googling, I suppose. I don't know.
Well, I'm looking. Of course, I knew I recognised him. That's who Seamus Coleman left.
Coleman. Yeah. Everton bought him, I think, for 60 grand. Yeah, 60 grand he bought him
60
for.
grand.
That is.
Yeah, back in the day,
He earns probably more than that a week now, doesn't he, at Everton?
Yeah.
Or maybe about that. Wow.
Yeah, I think it was 2009 he left because I was only a kid then. And Sligo, Paul Cook did really well with the development of the team at the time. But yeah, it was good when they had, like, for me anyway, when they had all the English players playing for them. I used to love it. Yeah.
Good stuff. So your stepdad then, the Grinch, what's his full name? if you're allowed to say it.
Yeah, Rick Hodson. Yeah, Rick Hodson.
Sweet. I don't know if
he goes to every home game he can. Like, he's asking me whenever I come down, he's get me tickets to the game. So yeah.
Good stuff. And are you completely hooked now? Are you all in with County? Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Stockport County. You know, I'm a City fan of, with the big clubs, but like I'm a Stockport and City fan. If that makes sense. So absolutely, yeah. So I'm always plugging Stockport around Sunderland to everyone. I'm a big Stockport fan. So yeah.
Good stuff. And you did mention, I think you mentioned to me you were going to have county colours on your shorts at some point. Or you?
I might have to now. Yeah, I might have to now. Well, my debut shorts from Fight Label, my pro debut, were actually blue. Well, royal blue actually. So I might get red and white for my next ones. We'll see. Might get the crest on it as well.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Nice. So tell us a bit about your boxing then. So pro boxer, are you up in Sunderland at university? I've got to say, you sound like you've got more of a twang of northeast in you than you have Irish in terms of your accent. Yeah, I do. That's what I think. Yeah.
Oh wow! Whenever I go over to Ireland, they always say that I sound pure British, but when I'm up in the northeast, they always say I sound pure. You know, when they say I've got a tinge of Irish in it, so I've probably picked up a few of the slang words over the couple of years I've been up here. So it's like a mixture of three Irish, Mancunian, and Mackem. So, but yeah, I'm at university in Sunderland. I do PE, so I teach PE, so physical education,
Right.
and going on to my PCG next year. So I'm up here for at least another year next year.
Nice. And our resident Geordie, Geordie Hatter, he says, do you ever get to St James's Park? I'm going to go do the accent. It's not bad, like.
You know what? I've actually been to St James's Park, believe it or not. I'm not saying they're a bad club, obviously, because I live in Sunderland. But like, if you see Sunderland, it's a state. But but like, I do like Newcastle. I've got a soft spot for them. You know, my dad was a big, I think he was a big Alan Shearer fan when he played for England. So I've got a soft spot for Newcastle. So I've never been to a Newcastle game though, believe it or not. But I don't know if I will. I will only go when City's playing them. If City are playing them and I can get tickets, I'll go. But that's really it.
Yeah, fair dues. So yeah, tell us about your boxing. So how is that going, and what's what have you done so far, and what's next?
Well, I turned pro at 18, 19 when I moved back over here. That was the whole point of the move, to come back here, turn pro. I was undefeated there, 2-0. I was, trained by John Murray, who's a local Stockport, former world title challenger, and I went to university shortly after my second pro win, because a boxing career doesn't last long. It's a very short career. 1 punch can change your life. So, not boxing's not known for the smart fellas anyway, but you always need a plan B if it doesn't work out. So, since coming to university, I have been on a bit of a lost streak, but it's a bit expected because I needed to stay active. I needed to fight. So I didn't really have full-time focus on it because my studies came first. So I'm planning on returning in the summer. I've got good backing now. I'm signed to a promoter in Scotland, and we're hoping to get some big fights. I'll be returning at middleweight. Well, if I can make it, because I really struggle to make middleweight. So I'm more of a cruiserweight, if I'm honest. But yeah, I'm hoping to make my comeback, and I hope I do well. And I would like a Manchester fight, believe it or not. I've not fought in Manchester since 2017. So I'm really, really wanting to fight back home again, I think, soon.
Just get outside the pubs at Chucky Out time. You'll definitely get one in Manchester.
So if it was to be in Manchester, I mean, what sort of venues are you looking to fight at?
Well, it doesn't come down to venues. It comes to who wants to fight me. So it could be anywhere. It depends who would give me an offer to fight. I'd fight anyone from Manchester, if I'm honest, if they're offered. I don't think I've refused the fight.
Right, you lot in the comments, come on. Let's
honestly though, I'm not one to refuse a fight, unless the money for the fight or it was a completely poor offer. I've had a few of them, even TV offers, believe it or not, absolutely shocking, that I can't speak about. But I would fight. So it depends. It could be from Eddie Hearn boxer on DAZN, or a Sky boxer, or a small horse show at like Victoria Warehouse, or even a leisure centre pro show. But I would love to fight a Manchester fight in middleweight. I'll be honest with you, in a 50-50 fight. I think for a return, I'm the kind of guy that needs a fight where I'm at risk of losing instead of fighting journeymen, if you know what they are. I don't think journeymen do anything for boxers coming up. It does build a name for yourself. It does create that casual fan base up. But really, I think 50-50 fights, that's where like the likes of MMA is doing well. I need something to motivate myself,
I think people are putting you up for it in the comments, Ross.
I've noticed.
There's at least 2 comments in there suggesting Ross. Who do you think could win a fight out of me and you, Ross?
I'll be the ref.
Yeah. I can get to yours in 10 minutes if you want, Ross. We can stream it live.
Yeah, I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Same.
Yeah.
We're just hugging each other.
Hug it out.
Yeah, get on the pitch at half time.
Celebrity death match. That's what we should do.
Do you ever think about fighting one of those YouTubers? Because I'd love to punch them in the face.
Do you know what? Like a lot of people's asked me on my other podcast. Obviously, I do another podcast, but I've got asked this question. It's not been released yet with them, but they asked me what's my opinion on them, and it's a mixture of both. Like I understand why they're doing it. They're making so much money. They're selling out arenas to people who don't understand boxing, and it's a money making racket at absolutely shocking level. Believe it or not, you guys would have a great chance of beating them. They're really not that good, but on the other hand, in my opinion, they're taking the seriousness of boxing away, how dangerous the sport is, because kids, who haven't watched boxing before are thinking it's like WWE. And I read somewhere that they're thinking of doing tag team boxing, which I think is mad because boxing's not a wrestling kind of sport, or it's a cutthroat sport. It's a kill or be killed, And I think the YouTubers, I understand what they're doing. Even Tommy Fury fight against Paul, I think it was taking away the seriousness of the levels, because Tommy's a great lad. He's from Manchester. His family, my mum's side of the family, the Gallaghers, but the level, even though Tommy Fury's not even domestic level in the UK, he's a prospect level. He outclassed like the likes of Paul very heavily, and if I'm honest, he probably went easy on him in that fight, and one of these days, I think one of these YouTubers or celebrities are going to come unstuck very fast with an injury that's going to be life-threatening. Well, that's my opinion. It is what it is.
Yeah. Do you think
you have like walkout music and stuff?
Sorry.
Do you have walkout music? What's your...
Yeah. I come out
what do you go for?
Usually, my preference is Tupac When We Ride or Tupac. Hit 'em up. I like that. I like that kind of music. So, anything like that. It's usually Tupac, if I'm honest. That's my choice. Depends on the venue. Like in Scotland, they will allow it because it's not a TV fight. But if it's anything that's televised, they won't have explicit language. So you've got a big choice.
What would you have, Russ? If you were
my walkout music? If I was a boxer
in your county dressing gown, walking out.
Oh yeah, my silk county dressing gown that we established last week. I don't know. I'd probably something back from Oasis. I think. Roll with it. Probably.
Yeah,
like that.
Fair enough. Yeah, you do you, Russ.
Yeah.
I'd have the Benny Hill music.
Yeah, well, that'd suit you. Yeah, you do you as well, Nick.
But Gaz Eccleston in the comments has said, he said Nick would start throwing out karate moves and loud screams that would beat most men. That sounds like me. I also counted in Nick's long arm reach would win it. You'd think so. Because I am quite a long fella, but I think I'd just overswing and fall over, and then that'd be that. So the Benny Hill music would fit with that one.
Overswing, miss, and then fall over.
Yeah, that's the type of thing I'd do. Yeah, I'm trying to get the key in the door on a Friday night.
Yeah. I was going to ask actually, Jordan, with just going back to the celebrities doing boxing and things like that, does that as a pro boxer, does that dilute it for you a bit and make a bit of a mockery of it?
A little bit, yeah, because we're so underpaid. I'm not even at a high pro level. But like we're very, very underpaid. I won't go on how much we're paid, but
yeah.
For instance, a few fights that in title eliminators that I was offered for either the BUI Celtic, which is a regional title, or even like the likes of Central Area titles, for instance, in the UK. Getting offered fights like them, I was losing money on the fight. I actually wasn't making any money. So when you see the celebrities doing it and like people are hyping up to be like the next big thing, it is a bit gutting because, you put so many years into it, whether, you've had a crap time going into the fight or a good time, but then the celebrities are milking it to make money. And like a lot of fighters struggle to sell tickets, don't make money off it. Can't fight them, but then a celebrity does it, and then they're right up there. They're getting easy fights most of the time, fixed fights, and it's like, yeah, it is a little bit, yeah, but I understand why they do it. It is a business, professional boxing, and I blame them? No, I absolutely don't. If I was in that position, I would be milking it as well. So I don't blame them at all.
Yeah, fair dues. My uncle Steve has messaged in. I'd walk out to "Love Is in the Air." Love is in the air. Yeah, that'll do me. Yeah, and then the person that I'm fighting wouldn't want to fight me. They'd be like, "Oh," and then we'd be okay, and we'd go out for a drink. Platonically.
I wouldn't want to fight you anyway, because if I inevitably like beat you to a pulp, then who's going to do the podcast with me?
Inevitably.
I mean, let's be honest, mate.
Yeah, who's going to press all the buttons? Who's going to press the buttons?
Yeah, that's it. I had a nightmare pressing the buttons on Monday night. Horrible.
I saw, mate. I saw. It's funny.
Yeah. It's all right on the other show because I know where all the buttons are, but the buttons are all in different places on this.
Yeah, but you've been doing this show since 2015, so I expect you to know where they were.
Yeah, but we've not been doing it like this since 2015. No, we used to just turn up in a pub and get pissed once a month.
I know. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Right. Have we got any more any more admin or anything to talk about? I mean, done the matches out with Colchester.
I can hit you with an emergency question if you want.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. You can both have this one. What quirk of football do you wish would die out? So there's something that you see happen quite a lot in football, and you just think, I'm sick of that.
Oh God, there's loads really.
VAR.
There we go. Speaking for the country, there I think.
There we go. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's that level of shithousery that only Bruno Fernandes is capable of.
Oh, don't get me started on him. It really upset me at weekend.
Yeah, but there's not many players that do it like he does it. There's the odd one. Suarez was probably the next one that did it like that.
It's something with the face as well, because they've both got very punchable faces. Fernandes and Suarez.
Would you like to fight them, Jordan? Fernandes and Suarez.
Yeah,
Suarez.
get a tag team on the go.
He played for Liverpool, didn't he? So probably, yeah. My fiance supports Liverpool, so I don't like Liverpool actually at all.
Yeah. Breaking news. Actually, we've got some breaking news. The highlights are out, so if anyone wants to go and watch them, then.
Well, should we shoot off there? Because I think the figures will be going down after that.
No, other things that I don't like though as well. Do you know what? It's all this modern terminology that's pretty useless. There's some of it that's good. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. Was it Dean Saunders? Yeah, I kind of got it from him. So like he said, didn't he? The high press, which is just closing down, and it is, isn't it? It's like when you think about it, why do we say high press?
Low block, defending deep.
Yeah.
Transition, counter attack.
Like... Yeah. I do wish that I'd do one, and I do wish that Jobs for the Boys would do one as well.
Nippo babies.
Nippo babies.
Have you not heard of not Nippo babies? You deviant. Nepo baby. I've not heard that phrase.
No.
Nepotism babies.
Nepotism. Right.
Famous people who are just where they are because
Yeah.
Well,
like,
Jobs for the Boys. Like so we're talking like I know it's Chris Wilder has just got the Watford job for the next 3 months.
Exactly
I suppose he's got a track record in that league, though, hasn't he? I suppose that doesn't really fit.
No, and nepotism does come into it, but that's annoying anyway in any walk of life. You know, like him out of the 1975 and stuff like that. It's just it's just shit. But in football, having done done a couple of courses, you know, and experienced it firsthand, this kind of you've played professionally, that therefore you absolutely must know more than the person sat next to you because you must do because you play professionally. And I can see why that would be in some cases, but not all cases. And the all cases is never explored. It's never explored. So if you've got one job, 10 people go for it. One's an ex-pro and 9 are not. It's the ex-pro that gets it because they know who they are and they're in with the club, that kind of thing. And I know that works everywhere else, but I just think there should be more equality in it.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I don't. My personal choice is when pundits and stuff will say, well, you've got your Xavis, you've got your Iniestas.
Yeah.
One of them, yeah. Oh, what they need to do? They need to sign a De Bruyne. Like, there's only one. That's the problem.
Yeah, And down at the bottom, you when you play your Bournemouths and you play your Sunderlands, it's like, what? There's more than one Bournemouth, more than one Sunderland. Jonathan Baker, Geordie Hatter. We get all the same people commenting, you see. Can people stop talking about XG? I still have no idea what it is. I think I like that one. Maybe we give it a different name, but I like that.
I was a very grumpy bugger about that, wasn't I, Russell? And then you talked me around, yeah.
Yes. And then Darren Bone on something completely different. What's this B team? Have you heard about that?
Yeah, development squad basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
The first team players who aren't quite fit yet. We're not in a reserve league, are we, at the moment?
No.
I don't know if I hope that's something that'll come. I used to like going to reserve games back in the day.
Yeah, I did.
Sitting in the main stand, but yeah, I got 4 games lined up. Am I right? One of them being against City. Is it City? Bolton?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
City, Bolton, Burnley is one of them.
Burnley. Oh well, yeah. Well, the police will get hold of that one and move it or cancel it. I bet.
That was mentioned
like
today.
with that friendly that year.
Yeah, that was mentioned. I've got to say. Trying to think who the other one was. If I can drag it up by the time so it's not.
Was it Rochdale?
Huddersfield.
I think it was. Was it Huddersfield?
Huddersfield, yes.
Huddersfield.
Bolton, Burnley, Huddersfield City. So yeah,
it's a good opportunity to see which of particularly the younger players, see if there's anyone close to forcing their way through, or they'll be going out on loan next season. Obviously, we've got a few out on loan already. Well, we're talking of players on loan. I'm calling it now. Ethan Pye to become a regular next season, doing very well on loan at Gateshead. Left-sided centre back in a 3. That's an area we might well be looking at next season. So we might have the answer there.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah,
that's my early prediction for next season.
You heard it here first. We've done a couple of these. We've done a couple of these nuggets, haven't we? Where we've come good. Yeah,
just a couple.
Yeah, the only other one I can remember is I said Collar's first game. I went, he's an absolute player, and he's going to be very, very good for us, and he's turned out.
And just like that, 12 months later, he was.
Yeah. Well, when I first watched Wotton play, I said straight away to my stepdad, I said, he's a special player for County. I said, County will struggle hard to keep him over the next few seasons. I think he's County's best player, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Well, he's been involved in most assists and goals this season.
Yeah, in total, yeah.
Yeah, 14. Yeah. Put him and Collar into it, 14 between the two. No, 14 each. Yeah.
Combined goals and assists, yeah.
Cool. Right, shall we wrap it up?
Let's do exactly that. So this podcast, if you're part of the Stockport County fan club on Patreon, you'll be getting this podcast like in the next half hour, and everyone else you'll be getting it 7 a.m. on Friday.
Yes.
Won't they?
They will. Jordan, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute
pleasure. It's all right, lads. It's an honour to be on. Thank you.
No, cheers. It's an honour to have you on. And to everybody else, please do like the video. I won't play that little transition again, but please like the video, rate us, review us, all that kind of stuff. It really does help. And if you can enable your notifications as well, that does help us. Apparently, I found out that this week. If you enable your notifications,
I've got mine enabled.
Yeah, I have. That's why I found out that County had just released the Gillingham highlights because I got a notification. You see.
Yeah, I'll be turning them off if they're going to be doing more stuff like that.
Good stuff, right? Cheers, everybody.
Don't forget, Jonathan's back on Saturday morning with the Away Day show with his guest Hannah Brown. Who?
Oh, nice.
This is it. We're blooding the emerging new audio talent. I think she's had a run out on her, and now she's going into going for a must-win fixture on Saturday morning. This is what we do. It's like Paul Turnbull in 2008 again. We're Altrincham, where he went on loan, and then it's the playoff final against Rochdale Saturday morning, and she's going to play a great game in that holding midfield role. I lost the flow of that.
You did. Yeah,
she's going to play a great game.
Just a couple of messages for you, Jordan, before we go. Claire Jeffs about your boxing. She says, "Hope you smash it." Gazette says, "Good luck. Good luck to him."
Cheers. Thank you.
Good stuff. Right.
Thank you. I hope so too.
Yeah. Well, we do. We'll keeping an eye on you through Twitter. So keep in touch.
Perfect.
Right, everybody. Cheers. Thank you, and we will see you next week. Bye now.
Perfect. Take care.
Bye. This episode of the Scarf Bagara War was written, recorded, and produced by Russ Johnson and Nick Lee. The music on the opening titles was produced by Dan Johnson. Subscribe wherever you get your content, as well as finding out how to join the TSBW fan club. Check out the links in the description or go to all the W's, scarfbagarawar.co.uk.